Welcome back.
We're the Super Makersbros.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Jeremy.
Today's build is Deckard's Blaster from Blade Runner.
A sci-fi classic.
On to the build.
Let's go.
Welcome to the build.
Alright, here we go.
Hey.
I still have my Mario soundboard from last video.
And you got some new sounds on there?
Yes, I do actually.
Hello.
So last video, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe and
Come on back for new builds.
hey, give us that like. Don't worry about the bell.
And no, hit the bell. What Mario said, hitting the bell.
Let's go.
Alright.
So here we have some SLA parts printed on the Form 2.
I like the Form 2 prints. They got some nice solid prints.
Yeah, and then of course going back to good old-fashioned PLA. I'm sanding this with 220 grit, just trying to make this as easy as possible.
220 grit seems like a good starting place for PLA. I never really felt like I had to go to like 60 or 80 on it. I jumped right to it.
Yeah, me neither. I do feel like some of the areas though, like on this build, we did it in 4 materials, so it was a little difficult with PLA having so many lines, and then the Form 2, the SLA parts didn't really have any lines, so trying to make the PLA parts look like it's really difficult.
I just started using some forms at work, and the prints are just freaking great. They're that.
I definitely, so the PLA worked out fine. I only had to sand 3 parts. This is SLS from Shapeways.
Does it need a lot of sand?
It doesn't. It has some wood grain effect. I would also recommend using a mask just because of the powder.
Does it get that wood grain from orientation like PLA sometimes?
Yes. It depending on the orientation, it can get a little wonky with fit or anything like that.
Because I've noticed on certain things you print, like if you print like a handle for like this gun in theory, it always gets the striations of the machine. You see it going up like a topographic map almost.
Yeah, it has that. Well, the only issue with like, so here I'm priming. And the biggest problem with SLS parts is just they soak up paint so much, just because it's powder based.
Have you ever tried clear coating them first?
I didn't this time. I prime them and then I start sanding the prime in like we normally would to fill kind of the porous areas. But so you would think it's white, I paint it with black, I'm good. But later on in the build, you'll see I use like half a can of black. Or I hand painted it, and then off screen, I just spray painted it because I couldn't cover it.
Absorb.
Yeah, well, it was absorbed. Yeah, exactly, the other way. It was definitely being a pain.
I haven't used enough SLS parts to try it, but I think next time maybe we should just start with like a pass of the clear coat or two, because that should lock it in and then kind of build on top of there.
Or sand more of the primer into the build.
You got any more of those nozzles for the glue thing, man?
I should.
I broke my top of my glue. It got stuck, and I ripped it off. So, you know.
So I have to use the Dremel here. I'm trying to make some parts fit. So the main thing, if you're ever going to do a job where you have multiple materials, tolerancing is going to come into play. It's going to be a big factor. So
it's bad enough FDM parts barely fit together.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so like in this one, so the gun's broken down, which you can find on Myminifactory. Andrew Foster is the designer, and you'll notice like sometimes one area is 3 different materials. So I'm trying to like glue it together, but I keep having to go back in, sand, or use the stylish Dremel to kind of like get in there and rough up the areas.
How do the parts that are different materials hold together with the glue? Do they hold together fine? Like
the gluing. Yeah, the gluing was fine. I just used the regular glue that we use. There wasn't an issue there. The only issues I had with this was paint and fit. A lot of parts didn't fit together just because of the different tolerancing, which was a pain. Like this part here is SLS, and then the piece that goes inside of it is SLA. And then that's going on top of a PLA part, and it was brutal. Just considering trying to glue it together so it's functional and moving.
Where'd you get those baby clamps?
I think we got those at Home Depot actually. They were 99 cents for like 3. We bought a whole bunch. That's actually the only clamps I've been using. The big clamps that we used to have with the rubber tip. For some reason, like if it gets paint on it, or
it doesn't dry, or it stays tacky forever.
It stays tacky, and also I feel like it digs in too much to the parts. So I'm trying to assemble here, and I kind of messed up on the handle. I painted it silver, and I was like, okay, that's a silver part. But then over time, I kept putting fingerprints in it, So I wound up going back and painting it again.
Also, I did some research about silver paint, and apparently if you try silver or like chrome stuff, it doesn't come out right, and then after a couple of days, the oxidation occurs, and you lose the metallic shine on it. So
maybe putting a clear coat on top?
No, it does. That makes it even worse.
Well, you're not supposed to technically put a clear coat on metallic.
I was thinking the next time we do like a real chrome metallic build, I'm gonna send it to a chromer and have the parts.
Yeah, so maybe, so the other thing too, so this is black regular acrylic. I believe this is Tamiya paint. So I'm painting all the SLS parts in Tamiya with the Tamiya paint.
Are you just getting a base coat down, or are you actually aiming for parts?
Well, no, so this is just all the black areas. So, but the problem is, if you see where my thumb is and hand, it's on the silver part. So that's, once I lift my hand up, all the my fingerprints are there. Well, it was originally masked, and then I was like, oh, I'm done. It's already dry. We're good. So I mask it. I think I mask it later on when I spray paint, and then even then, like my fingerprints kept going into the silver. Yeah,
already on there.
So I had to resand. I resanded it. I think it might have been off screen, but I resanded it and then painted it in chrome. I sprayed the chrome inside a cup, a plastic cup, and then painted it on. Yeah. Because I have a chrome that I like.
Makerbro tip: leave your stuff masked until it's ready to be shown.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Like I'll leave the mask on everything, and the guys, when I unwrap it, I think I'm unwrapping a present.
Okie dokie.
One of the other tips that I had when you're priming, I also put blue tape, double-sided blue tape, put it down, and then attach all my little pieces so they don't blow away when you spray paint them.
I've had that before, blown right off the build plate.
This is Tamiya gunmetal, which is probably my favorite. I think I've done 10 jobs using this. This metal, I think this is actually the same paint, which is, it's ending now, but this is the same paint that I've used actually in our first job of the Batman helmet. Same Tamiya gunmetal.
Yo, we cheap with the paint, bro.
No, I am. I'm definitely cheap with it, and now it's running out.
Bye.
So it's pretty brutal. You could actually see it's like almost ending.
You know, I gotta admit to something. I'm not really a fan of the Blade Runner movie. It's a good movie, but geez, it's boring.
I tried to watch it, which I know a lot of people are gonna be. Actually, that sounded like it was. That sounded too funny. I think that was better. A lot of people are gonna be upset that we didn't really like it too much, but I think it's a little boring for my taste. I do love the gun. It is a classic. And so you just see, like, I took off the tape because I spray painted that black off screen because the original black I was using was not sticking. So I tried 3 different times to do it. So now I'm brushing on spray paint because I love this spray paint.
Was that a plastic cup or a styrofoam cup?
That was it's one of those, I think it's plastic, but it's like a hard plastic.
Have you ever sprayed spray paint into a styrofoam cup?
Yes, I learned my lesson on that.
That was one of the first things I ever did. I screwed up.
I think it was with black, and it just melts the cup. The hardest part here is I'm trying to get all my pieces separate and make sure that they fit together before I start weathering. So I weather using burnt sienna, brown, black, and then I have like a little orange for some areas that I want to rust. And what I did was, so those are your 3 for dirt. And then whenever I want rust, I just dip in a little bit of that orange, and it adds the rust tinge that I want. And I always use a dirty old chip brush. So I apply it here, and then I wipe it off with an old sleeve of a shirt. And the main thing is I wanted all the black areas to have kind of brown dirt, but all the silver and gunmetal, I just weathered it with black because I wanted them to look differently, have a contrast.
Yeah, because sometimes some of these projects with just too much black on them, just kind of, you don't really get to see a lot of detail. These little things highlight the details really well.
Yeah, so like if you look at the gun close, like there's a lot of brown in there. It like wanted like brown grime inside all the areas, and it's a little difficult to see just because of the shine, and I'm facing the window. You also see our custom Blade Runner Lego right there in the background.
It's under glass?
Yeah, I left it in glass. So now I'm weathering all the silver parts. So if you look close, you actually see like I'm putting black on it, and I'm putting black in the lettering of the barrel, of the top of the barrel. and I'm trying to get the black inside the details that are silver or gunmetal. I just think it always adds something.
The hardest part I find about letters and things like that is in PLA. It never comes out right. It's got to be another material.
Yeah, so the anything with letters on this one is SLS. That definitely was the showstopper, because I can't. When you see the final shots, there's no way we're gonna get that with PLA.
Yeah, definitely. I always found that to be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, you see, so like this, everything chrome is just black, and then when you look at them side by side, it gives so much.
Even what's in the bowl looks like rusty.
Exactly. Yeah. So eventually, I just start mixing it, and then it gets kind of old, and I still kind of use it, because then I like it that it gets kind of hard in the chip brush.
Like tacky.
Yeah, and it gets tacky, but then it like fills those details. I don't know what it is, but it fills the details so nicely, and there's a lot of details on here with ridges, so it just sucks up that paint.
What's up? Those are the handles on. Those are printed on the machine too, right?
Yes, that is the Stratasys J750. Those are printed in clear, and then on the last layer is amber.
You can. Oh, the whole thing is not amber colored. I thought it spatted out that whole color.
No, only the top layer. So I weathered them with black.
Yeah, that really brings them to life. That really like sets it apart. Like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, the hardest part here was. So I didn't know what screws went where, because I did the screws last.
Just making it up?
Yeah, I was really making it up. I had no idea where the screws went. So if you see I keep stopping, I'm looking at a picture below the camera that is zoomed in, and I'm trying to figure out what screw goes where.
What's funny about those screws, when I printed them, those screws are translucent blue. And
yeah, it's right.
And they look totally like real freaking screws now. Like,
yeah, that's actually a different gunmetal. That's duplicate colored gunmetal. So if you notice what I did here, I put a little bit of black behind the handle.
Yeah.
And now it's dirty on top, but when I glue it together, the glue and the black kind of mix, and it smushes it in the back, and it gives it some effect that I've never seen before.
It looks like it's been in, like it's got grime for days in there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Once I finally glued this on, I was so scared to glue it, but it definitely came out really nice.
Yeah. Well, here it is. I gotta say, our Deckard gun is totally official.
Yeah, I think, or hopefully, Adam Savage is proud.
I think so. This is a solid build. I think this is it's great from top to bottom.
The text, all the grime, I think that worked out very well.
Yeah, that's that good old SLS, and then we got the grime in the handle going. That's a really cool little effect.
5 different materials, or 4 materials. One of them we had to get rid of.
Yeah. I think Lego Deckard would be proud.
Hope so.
All right, so subscribe for more builds and come on back for the next one.